The novel coronavirus, COVID-19, has spread across the globe, devastating economies and causing panic buying. Dherbs CEO Dolphin recently sat down with Dr. Habib Sedeghi, founder of the Beehive of Healing, an integrative medical center in Agora Hills, California, that specializes in chronic illnesses such as cancer and autoimmune diseases. AD and Dr. Sadeghi discussed the COVID-19 outbreak, causes, possible solutions, and ways to help people maintain both physical and mental health during the lockdown.
Another thing I wanted you to talk about, what's something that, aside from getting a product, what can people do to actually help their body to heal, keep their immune system strong, since basically we're doing external things. We're putting on gloves, we're wearing masks, we're doing all these different things, but and your last line of defense is your immune system.
That's it.
What can we do to fortify our system naturally as far as foods that we can eat, things that we can do, exercise? What can we do naturally to help prevent this from attacking our body?
3 things.
Okay, let's go.
We're going to keep it very simple.
Good.
We're going to go just keep it simply simple. The first thing is, research has shown that when you fast, you boost up your stem cells, you boost up your immune system. Maybe eating 6 o'clock in the afternoon and then not eating anything, water is okay, until 6 o'clock the next day.
Okay.
That's 12-hour fasting. It's not overwhelming. It requires a little bit of recalibration. Pretty much everyone can do it, right?
Sounds
That's
good.
number 1. Number 2, hydration. Just making sure that you drink enough water. Why? Well, look, when you drink enough water, even if you pick up the virus, you swallow it, it goes into the digestive system. The hydrochloric acid is one of the strongest acid, and I'm telling you, as a chemist, nothing survives hydrochloric acid, right? Number 3, spend some time out in the nature.
Okay.
So that we can get some vitamin D, we can get the sunlight, we can get, some type of a fresh air. Now, these are the 3 things. If you want to add on top of it, you can. To the extent that you can, eat organic. Cut out gluten. Gluten is 3 amino acids. It's called gliadin. Cut it out of your diet, right? These are things that you can find in bread, in pasta, and so forth. Cut down the simple carbohydrates like chips,
Right.
and things like that. Pay attention. Include green leafy vegetables to your diet. If you want a quick fix, take a look at your plate. Eat 80-20. 80% of what you eat is green leafy vegetable, fruits, seeds, nuts. 20% some type of animal product. Okay? So if they're vegetarian, then they probably can include a little bit of eggs. They can include a little bit of maybe dairy, including ghee. Ghee, Ghee, it's a fortified fat. In Ayurvedic medicine, we use it as medicine. Okay? It's a very powerful thing. If you're a vegan, the things that you want to pay attention to is basically 3 things. Okay? It's your B12, B6, and folic acid. I'll never forget. I did a research fellowship at Doheny Eye Institute. This is back in 90s. Back then it was affiliated with USC. Now it's affiliated with UCLA and Jules Stein. And the fellow that I worked with was one of the smartest people I know, MD, PhD, Alfredo Sadoun. He's a neuro-ophthalmologist. I'll never forget that spending time with Alfredo. One day, this young lady came in. She was 37, and she was going blind. We looked at the back of her eyes, and and we found out that she had a form of optic atrophy that was secondary to depletion of B12, folate, B6. Okay, and when we told her, she was shocked. But by fortifying it, by adding it, by including some of the products, such as brewer's yeast, it's an incredible source of a lot of these vitamins. Making sure that they get enough cholesterol in their diet, okay? Vegetables, they don't have cholesterol.
Right.
They have phytosterols, okay? But to some extent, the body can make some cholesterol. Why is the cholesterol important? Isn't cholesterol the devil? Don't we want to attack? No. In every single cell in the body, you have cholesterol.
Okay.
Cholesterol is the precursor to all the sex hormones. So everything from pregnenolone, DHEA, estrogen, biest, progesterone, testosterone. These are all, you need cholesterol. Because if your cholesterol drops too much, my God, you know what's going to happen to your DHEA and testosterone. And then the downstream effect is what? Erectile dysfunction. But don't you worry, because we got Viagra. We got Cialis, right? You see the setup? They come in with a medication that will decrease the cholesterol. And we all think, wow, that's a fantastic idea.
Right.
But then the downstream effect is, well, wait a minute. Cholesterol is the precursor molecule for your sex hormones.
Right.
Right? And so these are some of the things that can be looked at. Look, I mean, most people, they're unaware, but you look at shallots, right? You look at so many different, like oranges, lemon, right? I published a book, The Clarity Cleanse. It's a very rich book, and in it, it gives you a recipe of how to cut lemons, and there is a way that you could boil it and get the juice of the lemon, but the skin of the lemon has all these essential oils that when you simmer it up for 15 minutes, it's unbelievable. And then you drink it. You let it cool off. You drink it throughout the day. Greatest source of vitamin C. It activates phase 1, phase 2 detoxification through the liver. It's an amazing way to boost up NK cells or natural killer cells. It normalizes your blood sugar. And it's just lemon. Now you want to add on top of that. You want to include, strawberries. You want to include kiwi. These are some of the greatest sources of vitamin C.
Absolutely.
So these are some of the things that pretty much everyone, depending on where they're at, they can do. Now, no matter where you're at, the first things that you want to do is before what you put inside your mouth, pay attention to what goes inside here. Pay attention to what you watch. Pay attention to what you hear. Pay attention to what you let in. Because I'm here to tell you, this idea that there is an invisible enemy out there, that it's going to come and get you, this boogeyman idea, it's only there to activate your fight and flight so that here's what you do. You say, oh my God, here are my rights.
There you go.
I don't want my rights.
Sign up for everything.
That's it. Whatever you say, I do it.
There you go.
Right? Because when they activate that fear, all of a sudden, as a sophisticated human being, I become a little boy and I look up to the authority as my daddy or my mommy to make all the decisions
Right.
for me. And you know what? As a civilizations, we've come way too far to, and that's the greatest disrespect for the lineage that, that we come from, to give up all of our rights. Because I'm here to tell you, too many people have died. Too many people sat in front of the bus and they said, no, I'm equal as you are. I'm not going
Right.
to sit back at the bus.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And it's the greatest sign of disrespect to say, oh, okay, here are all my rights in a silver platter. I don't want it because I want to stay alive.
Right.
I love these. I put this little Instagram post on, and that I talk about what it's referred to as fainting goats, right?
Oh, I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched it.
I just love that. These goats, that once you startle them, right?
They just collapse.
They collapse,
Right.
like myotonic congenita. They just collapse over. And I feel like, gosh, sometimes I wonder if they're training us to just be, all these four-legged fainting goats.
Right.
That it's coronavirus or the boogeyman. And we're supposed to just freeze and topple over.
What do you think is probably the best way as a country for us to deal with the coronavirus itself?
Yeah, as a country, we need to be intelligent. We need to approach it. I think we need to start communicating about herd immunity. We need to start having larger conversations about how to boost up our immune system.
Right.
Not to go in. I mean, when you tell people that, do you understand that you go back and you think about a time period of when I used to, prescribe probiotics when I would, when I gave antibiotics, people would laugh. They were like, wow, he's a quack. Right now, right, it's the standard of care.
Absolutely.
Because you know that if you put someone on antibiotics, you completely destroyed their gut flora. They're going to get a yeast infection. They're going to get diarrhea.
100% guaranteed.
Right?
Guaranteed.
And so it's this idea of learning to be able to think, learning to be interested in cultivating our consciousness.